They Percy Jacksoned it. On Friday, Disney is going to be releasing Artemis Fowl on their new streaming service, Disney+, and I am scared. If you're like me, you were very excited when you first saw that this book was going to be made into a movie. Then you watched the teaser trailer and felt depths of despair and rage that you have never felt in your life. So let's talk about it. First of all, I want to talk about the cast. So, let's talk about the guy playing Artemis. Ferdia Shaw, I really hope I'm saying your name right, is 15. Artemis Fowl is supposed to be 12. Now, I know it's not that uncommon for actors to play characters younger than their actual age, but it seems like whoever made this casting choice didn't really think it through. Because even if they manage to come out with a movie a year, Ferdia is going to look a lot older than the character that he's playing, and it's unlikely that they're actually going to be able to put out movies that quickly. A 15-year-old playing a 12-year-old is one thing. An 18-year-old playing a 14-year-old is a totally different thing. Also, this isn't directly related to the casting choices, but I have a question for all of the directors and writers of movie adaptations of books. Do you read a single word of the source material? How do you this badly capture the essence of a character? Moving on, next I want to talk about Holly. The whitewashing of the character can be addressed later. First, I want to talk about the fact that a 17-year-old is supposed to be playing someone who is in the equivalent of their mid to late 20s. I'm sorry, but Laura McDonald is not old enough to be playing this character. They managed to get adults to play all of the other fairy characters, so it's not like they think they need kids to play fairies, and it's not like Laura is much of a kid anyway, so what gives? And Laura's gonna have the same problem as Ferdia, but reversed. By the time the film series is over, she's going to look the age that she should have looked in the very first movie. Holly, a fairy who have much longer lifespans than normal humans, is going to look like she's aging like a normal human as the movies come out. And the only reason I can possibly fathom as to why they would have done something like this is that they're going to attempt some sort of romance subplot between Holly and Artemis at some point, and okay. Yes, Colfer did have a romance subplot at one point, but it was in a much later book after Artemis had already grown up some, and time travel shenanigans basically put them both at the same age, and there was no more of it when they went back to their own time and were their correct ages again. The romance thing never comes up again in the books. Artemis moves on to someone else, someone age appropriate. Please, for the love of God, please, don't let there be a subplot. Please! Ah, shit! Moving on to some of the supporting characters, both Trouble Kelp and Commander Root are going to be played by females, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if it weren't for the fact that part of Holly's character development and part of her character arc and a large part of her relationship with Commander Root comes from the fact that she is one of the first high-ranking female officers in the lower elements police because, you know, apparently fairies are sexist like humans are. Hooray. This kind of becomes undone when there's two other female officers that come before her. Hell, the reason that her relationship with Commander Root was like it was, this weird, tense, but kind of father-daughter relationship, was because Commander Root genuinely cared about her and genuinely wanted her to excel through the ranks of the lower elements police, but also recognized that in order for her to do that, she had to be held to ridiculously high standards. So he was admittedly unfair to her, but for her own good, and they had this wonderful, complicated, heartbreaking relationship, and that just goes away if that important part of Holly's character development isn't there because, I don't know, the casting director wanted brownie points for having two extra characters be female instead of male? I don't know. I mean, I can understand wanting to try and simplify the book just a little bit when it comes to being on screen, but that takes away a really important part of one of the characters, and it's going to leave her feeling more shallow Not to mention the fact that the movie was created for nostalgia's sake, so most of the people who are watching this are going to be more or less adults who read the series as a kid and already know about all this stuff, so it's not like it needs to be simplified. And finally, we come to the ethnicity of the cast. And, the first thing you notice is the whitewashing of Holly. Now, I don't mean to rag on Laura. I'm sure she is a wonderful actress, but Holly is not white! And the blackwashing of Butler? Look. I don't have any problem with a white character being portrayed as a person of color when the race of the character doesn't matter. You want a black Ariel? Sure. I don't really care about that sort of thing. But it matters with Butler. It matters with Butler because in the canonical lore of the book, the Butler family has been in servitude to the Fowl family for centuries. Meaning that if they keep this in the movie for generation upon generation, a black family is going to have been in service to a white family. So either that is going to be part of this movie franchise, or they're going to have to actually change part of the book. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's actually going to be preferable. Surely I can't be the only person who realizes how messed up that would be, right? And I really don't understand why they did it. If they were trying to make up for whitewashing a different character, they failed on many different levels. Making a white character a person of color in no way makes up for whitewashing a canonically non-white character. Make the non-white characters non-white, make the characters that need to be white for whatever reason white, and then have a diverse range of background characters and supporting cast. Which, if you look at the cast of Artemis Fowl, they sort of did, but that in no way makes up for whitewashing a non-white character. I have so many problems with this, and I've just been talking about the cast so far. I haven't even gotten into the trailers yet. That is gonna need to be a video for another day, or else this video is just going to be way too long. Thank you so much for watching. I am blatantly refusing to watch Artemis Fowl. I know it's going to be a train wreck of a movie, and that is just not something I want to subject myself to. Also, I don't have a Disney Plus account. The next two videos are going to be me reviewing the two different trailers for the movie that have come out. Also, as a side note, I do kind of question Josh Gad playing Mulch. Gad is a great actor, don't get me wrong, and I think he's funny, but the types of characters that he tends to play make me question how he's going to portray Mulch. While Mulch does have a lot of funny lines, and while he does kind of add some levity to whatever situation that they're usually in, Mulch isn't a gag character. He isn't a comic relief character, and I'm a little afraid that with Josh Gad playing Mulch, that's what Mulch is going to end up becoming in this movie, and I really don't want that. I feel like it would be a disservice to the character of Mulch. Obviously, I can't speak for certain unless I've actually seen the movie, and no, I'm not. I refuse.